Good evening to all. Do you ever feel that when you're about to learn something new, it's either going too fast or sometimes going too slow? If you're lucky, it's going at the pace you're learning. So, this is the topic we're going to cover today. Keeping in mind that it is the summertime, we have a chance to either slow down the way we learn or keep up or just like bring up the speed on the way we're learning because the summer is made for you to learn at your own pace. So, welcome to my podcast tonight. Let's see if the sound is going well to make sure that everything is good and everything is all right. Perfect. So, welcome to this podcast. My name is Alain Faber, and I've been teaching for more than 25 years. And I'm doing this podcast sharing information about learning, teaching, and leadership. Three of the key things I love to reflect on. So, today's podcast is about learning for the most part because the school year here in Ontario ended last week. So that means it is the first week of July. So a few things are happening this week. So first, some people are going to have a job. Some other people may decide to take summer courses. Other people may decide to take some time off, either because they don't have to take a job, maybe they're too young for a job, and therefore they're going to spend some time to learn something new. Sometimes the first thing to learn in the summer is to learn our own pace, because too often during the school year, we're going at the pace of teachers, going the pace of the bells, going for the pace of the semester, the school year, because you need to make sure that you reach to the end of the evening. Good evening, Mary. Always happy to see Coach Mary. I've been listening to great work you've been doing as well. I'm very proud of you. So tonight, Coach Mary, we're talking about spending or taking time during the summer to find our own pace of learning. And too often we forget, and even for me, as a teacher, often we're going from bell to bell. We have lessons, we have courses. In the summer, it allows me to find my bearing, to go at my own pace. It's funny because I was looking at the word finding my own pace for the summer for learning and doing the things I do. And I was looking at how the word finding my pace is very close to finding my peace. There's only one letter difference, and I thought it was very interesting. And you're very welcome, Coach Mary. So here tonight, with respect to the learner's perspective, I'm going to give you some tricks on how to spend the summer, regardless if you are taking courses, having a job, or taking time for yourself, so that you can ground yourself. So by the time the weeks are going by, the July and August goes by the time you get to September, you'll actually be ready to go back to school, go to university, find a job. The idea here is making sure that we take the time to ground ourselves, because once we do that, it's so much more enjoyable to move forward. So with respect to the learner's perspectives, here are the few thoughts I have for you. In the summer, something that is amazing is that you can go where you want to learn or where you like to learn best. First one would be, do you like to learn inside or to learn outside? Often at school, we're learning a lot of the time inside. The summer is a great way for you to be outside if you like to spend more time outside. So I remember when I was a teenager, often I would just go mow lawns as a way to make money, go into construction sites as a way to earn some money, but also to learn while I was doing things. Because sometimes in school, it's a bit more theoretical depending on the course you take. And I always enjoyed the summer so that I could actually go at do things that I appreciate, which is using my hands to be able to learn something new. That's why I enjoy teaching science, because there's always a way to bring in labs hands-on when we are learning. So this is something interesting. To be honest with you, today I went cherry picking. And the reason for that is that most of the years I forget to go and pick cherries because I always think it's at the end of July. But here, close to Niagara Falls, they were ready. So we went to spend the day outside learning about cherry, the like agriculture and how the seasons are working. Also knowing that the next few fruits will come soon. Raspberries are close. We're gonna have plum, and later on we'll have apple and pears and so on. The whole idea here is to be outside. Picking cherries is something I enjoyed tremendously. School is amazing because we're learning and doing amazing things. However, being able to go and do cherry picking allowed me to do a few things. First, enjoy the outside. Second, to be able to appreciate nature, because if you are if you're picking fruits or veggies or any of the food yourself, you realize that the pace of agriculture, when food grows, plant grows until it's ready for the picking, it's going much more slowly than the pace in a city, for example, because you cannot go faster than nature, and that allows me to enjoy myself nicely. So Coach Mary says harvest time is always the best. I do agree. Harvest time with respect to if you have a project and you come to the end where you're harvesting successes. If you have a business, you have successes. If you're a farmer or you are growing your own food, it's when you actually get to your own food. So it's always amazing. I do agree with you. So that is one thing. The other thing I did this week was to clean my car. You're going to say, well, it is a bit simple, but why would it be interesting? Is because I was able to take care of something I own, but also using my hands to be able to learn new products that are out there to clean my car. And therefore, I was learning at my own pace. Often in the school year, I find the pace is a bit fast, and sometimes. And this week, I made sure that I took the time to slow down, allowed me to ground myself, knowing that in the weeks to come, I'm going to work on other projects as we are going along. So here are some of the things that I think is amazing. So this summer, this week, next week, or in the weeks to come, have a chance to go outside, either to enjoy picking fruits and veggies. And if you don't have a chance to do so, just go outside and appreciate the birds flying, how fast the clouds are moving. Often when I'm stressed during the school year, I go outside and I look at the clouds that are moving slowly. The clouds are not moving faster than the wind, and it's a good reminder for me to see what I can do and what I need to do next. So this is one thing to do, looking to see, is there a chance for you to spend more time outside? Or if you enjoy the inside, what can you do inside at your own pace so that you don't feel rushed? Some people will say, well, I like to take care of my room, my house. Some people may say I'm enjoying cleaning my garage, because sometimes if we have garage and tools, we need some time to take care of that. If we are we have video games, for example, we may have the time when we don't feel stressed to be able to play. We're actually taking the time to enjoy the game a little bit more, not feeling that you should be doing something else. And that's part of appreciating the pace of the summer. The next part that I think is important is to find time to read. Too often during the school year, I'm reading curriculum, I'm reading textbooks, I'm reading on the internet new concepts, new content, and I'm reading lab report. I'm reading all kind of materials that the students are writing for as part of courses I teach. However, in the summer, it's a great time for you, as well as I, to actually read books that you are looking for. So there's a few books I want to read this summer. Here, Built to Serve. I must have read this book maybe 4 or 5 times already. It's time for me to read it again. It's a good reminder of the reason why I do what I do, which is to be there and for others, to make sure that I can be there to help them learn as much as I can. A few other things I'd like to read. This one, a little book here on common sense investing. It's a book I've been wanting to read for quite a bit of time. I just never had a chance to find it. And I found this one in a thrift store, and therefore that's part of my reading this summer. And the reason for that is that in the summer, I have time when I don't have to read anything that my students are writing, and therefore I have to read. I'm taking the time to read for what I want to read. For the same thing with you. Some of you say, okay, well, I'd like to learn something new. So what are the ways you like? Some people will say, well, let's see if I can watch videos on topics I like to do. That's amazing. Videos are a great way to do so. Some of you may say, well, a podcast is a great way that I like. Then find a podcast or two and enjoy the podcast. Some of you will say, well, maybe it's reading a few novels, reading nonfiction, then do so as well. For some people, what they like to do is they like to go and meet people they don't have a chance to meet during the school year, because either they're far away or they're not where the cottage is, or you don't have a chance to go and see them. Well, take the summer to go and meet people in person so that you can actually enjoy their presence, so that you can learn from them. The whole idea of taking time in the summer is to ground yourself to say, okay, what are the ways I learn best? And what are the ways that I can, let's see, how can I say that? To understand what you like and then take ownership of that. There's the word. Because if you can take ownership of the way you learn, then you'll learn so much better. And I think you will enjoy that much more. We have here Coach Maud that says, Coach Mary, you have an excellent reading collection. I do. I have tens of different books. So to read, I've read as well. Part of the summer is also to see if there's some that I don't need anymore. Because as for this one that I found in a thrift store, I often bring back books at the thrift store because it's important. And hopefully, Coach Mary, you have a chance to read something interesting for you. On the other hand, I don't know if you prefer reading or you prefer podcast or you prefer video or you prefer meeting people in person. There are different ways for us to learn and to appreciate who's around us. And this is the key topic I'm going to share with you today. I haven't done teaching for the last week, which I've enjoyed, because instead of me giving output to help others, I call it having some input and appreciate my surrounding, appreciating my environment. So hopefully you have a chance to do so as well. And often in this podcast, I talked about two other topics, which is the teacher's perspective and the leader's perspective. And what I would say is, for teachers and leaders, is just to appreciate that you are a learner. So sometimes in the summer, you may have a few days, a few extra weeks off, and see if you can find the time so they can learn something new. Because once you start learning something new, curiosity comes in, and then it helps you realize that we don't know everything. And therefore, it also helps when you're meeting new people, sometimes in a new team, or for me in September, to notice that when you meet new people, if you're curious, you get to know them much more. And that's how we build a team. And I think that's amazing this way. On this, I'm going to wish you an amazing evening. Coach Mary, thank you very much for your messages today. I think it's been amazing. And you're right. I love writing, but reading is one of my best hobbies. Excellent, Coach Mary. I am focusing now on financial literacy book. I think that's a beautiful thing. So I have this one right here. And the other one that I will see if I can have a chance for August, it's also about literacy. It's the third book by Tony Robbins on investing. I think it's something that is important, because too often we don't know what we don't know. Therefore, I think it's amazing. Thank you very much, Coach Mary. Let's see, Coach Mary Ma. There you go. I will wish you an amazing day and amazing week, and I'll see you next week maybe for our podcast next Wednesday at 7:30. On this, have an amazing day, and thank you for joining. Take care. Bye-bye. There we go. Wonderful. Thank you.